Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Shano over here, and big discussion over here is that Stellantis' backup plan. Now, we're going to see a couple crossovers, going on over here between 2024, 2025, the Charger, Challenger, when it's going out, when the Charger's coming in. Um, so that's going to be really interesting. But from my digging and from what I found out is that a lot of the Hemis are made or actually all of them are made in a Mexico plant. This plant's capable of producing the 5.7, the 392, and the 6.2 supercharged, yada yada yada. So I did a little bit more digging, and how everything's going to go in the next couple of years. That Stellantis does have a backup plan. That if they don't get the sales that they want, or if the Hurricane doesn't work out, or if the full electric doesn't work out as they wanted as far as sales, um, the backup plan is that they have a redevised modern style Hemi engine on the table. One engine that will, which I talked about before, is that that's all they need is a modular engine that's capable of everything. Something like what Ford does with the 5.0. It's a very universal engine as far as its power. You can supercharge them, twin turbo them, get 1,000 horsepower out of them on a stock block, stock everything. And they don't need to go. I know they have the 5.2, and I think that's more for it kind of just happened in their special edition models in this and that. But I mean, it's literally like the same engine as, in my opinion, it's literally like the same engine as the 5.0. I mean, 5.0, 5.2. It's like it might have a little bit more stroke or this or that, but like it's very mild. But it's still like it's still the same engine. Let's just face that. So besides the 5.2, just like the 5.0, I think that's what they would put into production, because the new Dodge Charger has the placement for the inline. The inline is the same placement for the Hemis, so everything matches up. So it's very easy, especially with the same transmission. It's very easy for them to make a new V8, but they have to. It goes down on numbers here. So I would say half $1 trillion, $500 billion, from what I heard, is invested in this Charger electric crossover, switching over to the inline, the whole lineup of switching engines and making a new car. They put billions of dollars into this project. So, but if it's going to take a few years, they're gonna make a splash, and then they're going to see, we're going to see what happens as far as sales. But I think a lot of people that want a manual muscle car, let's just face that, they're going to go over to Ford, because it's going to be their last remaining manual with the V8. Now the Mustangs are already getting sold out. Believe it or not, they're actually they're having a hard time. A lot of people are just pre-ordering them, buying them. They're loving that new Mustang. In fact, I seen a brand new one on a lot, but it didn't last. So that's the backup plan. So Stellantis, Dodge, they have a backup plan in the next few years of a modernized, could be a Hemi, still be a Hemi. I think the Hemi name really stuck. Obviously, if they switched it off to something else, it wouldn't work that well. But I think if they they update the Hemi to a modern Hemi, it's better on gas, produces good horsepower, very modular. You can supercharge them, twin turbo them, whatever. And they offer that aftermarket support and stuff like that. That would be acceptable to Dodge buyers. But it's hard to tell, as far as people love the Challenger, they love the Charger, but this new Charger to replace both of the cars as a two-door / non-four-door, which I think that could happen. that's kind of unusual to me. Is that they're gonna be going this route? I really think they're gonna lose. They're gonna gain certain customers, but they're gonna lose a lot of. In my opinion, I think they're gonna lose a lot of money because you're not gonna have even the TRX. The TRX has failed before it even comes out. If and I mean with no V8 because now they're facing the backlash of what they did against Ford. Ford answered back with a V8. Now Dodge is getting rid of the V8 and just answering back with the inline turbo, with not a V6, but it's still a 6-cylinder. So it's like, what's going on over there at that company? So I think a lot of people that there's still gonna be buyers for the TRX, but without the V8 and stuff, and if Ford is still carrying the V8, they're gonna be like, okay, I want that V8, I want that sound, I want the whine of the supercharger, stuff like that. They're going to head over there. And I think that's a lot of their base. I mean, there's going to be still like people that don't like Ford and stuff like that, but if that's their only option, that's where they're going to go. So I think a lot of ways Dodge is just handing them. They're just handing them buyers. And I think it's a huge mistake on Dodge. They should have, like I said, I don't mind they do their electric crap. I don't mind they do the inline. But getting rid of V8s completely instead of saying, we're going to make a modern V8, one engine, it can handle anything you throw at it. It's got VVT, dual cam, whatever, something like the 5.0, but it's like a 5.7, but it's, it's still a Hemi, that type of deal. Maybe a 4-valve Hemi. I mean, something like in that order. But from what all my digging, I've seen like that's the backup plan. That they do have some, but they have to make all that money back. They have to see where this goes in the next few years. So you're not going to see a modern Hemi come out until until at least 2026 or something like that. 2026, 2027, and that's going to really suck because they're going to lose a lot of that base, and they're going to scramble to get things going. But I believe from what I found out is that they already have something on the board for that just in case factor, and I think they're already feeling it. In my point, a lot of people are it's a big discussion. I think they knew there was going to be a big discussion. They're like, oh well, once they feel the power, once they drive the car, once they feel the electric power, once they feel the inline, they're gonna love the car, and that's it. They're not gonna care if it has a V8 in it. And I think that the whole point of buying a muscle car is a V8. That's the whole point of buying a muscle car. Now, if they have like an inline 4 turbo or something like that, usually people that buy those, they just like the Mustang. And they just want, or they like the car, but they just, they don't care if it's a muscle car or not. They just like something sporty that's better on gas. But hands down, it is what it is that a muscle car needs a V8. So I think that they're going to lose a lot. They're going to gain some of those customers back, and they're going to lose a lot of those fees that we're getting hit with as far as gas guzzler fees and yada yada yada. So they're going to make up a lot of that loss. But how much of that making up that loss are they going to, justify the fact of losing so many customers? Now, again, I think the Charger is really nice, but I think that just one car in the lineup, which that also saves them money, having 2 motor options and having one car, overall, it would be easier to have. That's where I look at it. It would be easier to have that one car. Okay, I accept that. The EV, okay. You have the inline, okay. But then you can make it a 4-door, or 2-door or 4-door, and have a modernized Hemi in there. Now that seems to be like, if they put that on the table at the beginning, this whole debate would be over. Not the fact of talking about should they keep the Challenger around. I think they could update the Challenger. I think they can keep it around. I think they could keep both cars around and just updated them. In fact, they could have just replaced the Charger with the new Charger and kept the Challenger. Updated it to whatever, a CUDA, whatever they wanted to do. Update the interior, and that's what people are actually asking for, is to update the interior, update the car a bit. And you could still have those options and stuff like that, but they need this new platform, this universal platform, as far as the electric and the inline turbo, like something that can do both. How it's built on the assembly line. So it's interesting. So we're gonna see what happens, guys. We're gonna see what's gonna go on in the next few years. But I feel bad for the Mopar community, is that this backup plan of theirs is gonna take a bit. Now they can surprise us and say, "Hey, hold the horses." They can scramble on next before this car even comes. The first year in production, they can be like, they can surprise everybody and go, "Hey, here's the modern Hemi that you guys wanted in the Charger, the new Charger," and that could happen because obviously they hear the people out there. So overall, it's and the way everything I found out is that it's a lower chance, but you're gonna see the backup plan. It's either it's going to take off or it's going to fail. So the backup plan of Stellantis is to have that same factory that can produce 3 engines, which is only going to be turned down to 1 engine with variants of it, produce a new V8. That's on the table. From my digging anyway, is that, and some people are going to ask me where you get your sources from. I just do a lot of digging, dude. You do enough digging, you find stuff. So that's where it is, guys. So this is going to be a tough year for you Mopar fans, you Dodge guys. I'm a car guy. I'm not particularly, I like Ford. I like old Dodge, GM, stuff like that. I like American cars, and I like all vehicles. But I lean towards maybe the Mustang a little bit because it's never been out of production. Ford's kept the V8 around. They keep the manual around. They're kind of sticking more to it than any other company, so I lean more towards them. But overall, I don't want to see Dodge go out of business. I don't want to see the V8s go away. I don't want to see them making mistakes. And I think that being heavily controlled by the new company has a lot to do with it. And I know they've been doing the Challengers and the Hellcats for a while, but people do like them and stuff like that. So I understand they want to tone it down a bit. They get kind of a bad rap as far as getting stolen and stuff like that. But I think overall they can find a medium. They can definitely find a medium and make the right decisions on everything. So we're going to see what happens in the next few years. But the backup plan is a modernized Hemi, possibly still carrying a Hemi name, maybe a 4-valve. In my opinion, it's going to be a 4-valve dual overhead cam setup, a very modular engine, which is reasonable, especially with a new technology with cams. Something like what the Corvette does, where in a sense like the old Honda VTECs, where the car can kind of save gas, and then they can really just adjust those valves on demand. And if they go that route on a modernized Hemi, they wouldn't be getting hit with such fees, and then they can have their special models, but not like destroy the market with them, having 50 Hellcats on the lot. Just take it easy. Simple as that. You can have your special models. That's great. Just have them on order. Have one at the lot or something like that. Ford is very tricky with that stuff. They don't flood the market with GT500s. They don't have like 20 GT500s sitting at the lot. They don't flood the market. It's a very special car to them. So they just they may have one here or have one there, or you pretty much, they just know, like, if you want it, we'll order it, that type of deal. Or they might have one, and that's all you really need as far as something that has a lot of horsepower and high end. Other than that, you just need some cool models with on the showroom floor and this and that. And I think that's what we're still kind of missing, is that the 392, that's kind of what Ford needs. They just need some. That's what we all need, is that when you go to a lot, you see like the 302 and then 351, and there weren't huge price tags. It had a slightly bigger engine in it, blah 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 blah. So that's kind of what we're missing in this whole battle, this arena, is kind of what Ford is missing. But again, they still have that modular engine with packages. But I still think that, well, there actually is rumors of the Cobra having a variant of the 7.3 coming into a Cobra, which would be higher than the Dark Horse. So that's a rumor going around, is it might carry over a new variant of a big boy engine, and I think Ford would do very successful if they do that, if they just go all out on that department. Anyway, that's all the news I got for you guys. This is a good talk, good debate. What's going to happen in the future, but just to let you know, it's not completely over as far as Dodge getting rid of the V8s. I just think it's going to be an interesting couple years of, Dodge kind of pulling away from all, their reputation they put in place for so long. And I think that I can't say they're going to sink, but I think they're going to lose a lot of that customer base. They're going to gain some back, but they're going to lose a lot. And there's a lot of people that are going to buy the Charger, the cheapest one they could possibly buy, and probably swap out the engine and put it, and put a Hellcat in it. Also, you're going to see that on YouTube and stuff like that. But anyway, guys, again, it's not really over when it's over. So hopefully Stellantis wakes up, and they should just get it going ahead of time. They should just do it. Sorry I got cut off there. I ran out of video. But I'm going to end it with this. Yeah, they should just do it ahead of time. I don't, again, the soonest you're going to see it is 2 years, the latest 4 years. So 2 to 4 years, you'll see a redevised Hemi, completely modernized, updated with new technology for fuel economy, but power, and more universal, just like Ford's engine. But you're not going to see that for 2 to 4 years. But in my opinion, yes, I think Dodge could do it. They should just do it with Stellantis now, even though, do it within the first year. Like, introduce the car, see how everything goes. But within the second year, the next auto show, they're like, we still have, we introduced the you have that little bit of a dip, but, introduce it sooner than later. That's my opinion. Give people a manual transmission with a new modernized Hemi, and I think that you'll be all right, because you'll have 3 choices of that particular car, and I think a lot of people, will be happy at that point. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here, guys. It's still a shame that the Challenger is going away. I think they can redevise it, new interior and stuff like that, but it's their call, I know it's been around for a bit, but people still love it. Anyway, I'm going to get out later.